Good morning, everybody. Whoa, that's a little loud. Welcome to the SRE role, An Unexpected Journey. We're going to be talking a little bit about my journey from IT operations through into the site reliability engineering role. Somewhat new role at Microsoft, so we're still trying to define it ourselves. But I think I have a lot to explain in how we got there and how I personally have gotten there myself. So real quick, we're going to go over my background, how I became a IT professional in IT operations, how I changed from IT operations to what's known as service engineering and the mindset change I had to go through then, and then lastly, how I'm changing again to site reliability engineering. And the last thing we're going to go over is how I enabled this change for myself. Trying to give some ways and pointers for you guys who want to do some change in your career. How to do that. The deck will be available afterwards on the tech community page. But feel free to take pictures as you want. So let's dive into who I am. Thanks. So it's going to be a little tough for me to say. My name is Jared, and I'm a server hugger. Hi, Jared. Thank you. Somebody got the joke. Was introduced to computers early in my life. Some of you remember those kind of computers right there. I was introduced early on with the Commodore 64. I even wrote my own database. I had taken a code that was published in a magazine for you millennials, that's paper version of websites. And I had taken that code and typed it all in, and it was a great little program, except it didn't do everything I wanted to do. So I actually expanded it and created my own version of SQL with a query language and everything. Then I went to college and I bought a Commodore 128 because these PC things, they were not going to, they were never going to catch on. They were too big, too bulky. Boy, was I in for an eye-opening thing when I got to college, and everything was PCs. So once I got to college, I decided, you know what? I'm going to build myself a PC. It's going to be rad. Of course, most of you back then, PCs were more like that. But I got myself an awesome 386 DX25. Did everybody hear me? It was a 386 DX25. It was 25 megahertz, 16 megs of RAM. Remember somebody said that 640 was all you'd ever need? I had 16 megs. Exactly. I had a 150 megabyte hard drive that was almost as big as the computer itself. Them's was the days. But at the same time, in my dormitory, there was a whole bunch of guys saying, hey, we figured out this thing called networking. I was like, networking? What is this? Well, we were able to interconnect all of our computers and share stuff in between. Yes, 10-base-2 networking. Ha-ha. There were these cords all the way down the floor in the hallway, and our resident advisors were always upset at us because this is a tripping hazard. So what do? Duct tape. Covered them. No longer a tripping hazard. The best part about it, though, was we went up to the bookstore and bought Windows for Workgroups 3.1.1, so then we could share with each other and do all sorts of things. And we also got to install the IPX-SPX protocol, because that allowed us to game. We could game across the network. It was always fun, though, because we would have these outages. We couldn't figure out what happened. Most of the time, it was these lovely little devices. Does everybody remember Terminators on the network? These would go out and cause much sadness on the floor. I learned to quickly recognize that and fix it. And so I got to understand networking a lot better. I actually went out and started working with my girlfriend's father. We networked his whole pharmacy. They had to originally purchase separate pharmacy software for every machine in the pharmacy, and he had 5 machines in the pharmacy. We networked it together, and he only had to buy 1 copy. I started helping other businesses networking and setting up their computers, and all of a sudden I became a consultant. I had beer money. But it started me down a journey into IT operations at that time. I wasn't even aware I was going down the road yet. I just knew this computer things was cool. Yeah, I was an architecture student. I switched to engineering. I actually became a football coach. Why? Because I ran their computer systems and how they scouted on, via computers, including this integrated videotape machine. Paid for my college. I didn't have to pay for college after I became a coach. On the side, I was also doing consulting. I was helping businesses. And I started playing with servers, and I loved it. These servers were awesome. I got to start working with some businesses, and they had bigger servers than just the little small ones that I built. And they actually had Windows Server installed on them. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I got to play with this more. I went to the bookstore, bought a version, played with it, learned it myself. I started loving servers tremendously. They were like my pets. I would go out, whenever one of my customers would call me, they would say, hey, we have a server out. I would come and I would try and make it better. Like I said, they were my pets. I actually was the vet for them, trying to make them feel better. And I got paid fairly well in Bozeman, Montana. Along the way, I decided I wanted something more. So I started a business with a friend of mine, and we did even more consulting, even bigger servers, even bigger websites. I started doing development. I was a database administrator and a web dev. Anybody remember active server pages? Not ASP.NET, active server pages. Thank you very much, there we are. Good old VB script. I actually wrote the first website for the Montana State University Athletic Department on active server pages with 4 access databases in the back end because we couldn't afford SQL Server at the time. I did a lot of work like that. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But I wanted more. So I eventually got a job in a data center. Moved to Seattle. I sold my half of the business to my partner, moved to Seattle at the perfect time. The fall of 2000, right when the dot-com bubble burst and there were lots of people looking for jobs. But I was lucky. Eventually I got a job in a data center. I was working with servers. I could hug servers in the data center. There were so many servers to hug. One of the customers that we had at that data center was the folks that used to run Text America. Does anybody remember Text America? Anyone? Okay, nobody. It was the original Twitter. They were a Moblog company, and we had built out this system for them for hosting. Then they went on Good Morning America, and we had to quadruple it. Talk about having to expand and react. We weren't ready for that, and we had to buy hardware to do it. It was difficult, but we managed it somehow. Working there, it felt like we were in mission control at NASA, and it felt like we were on top of the world. Then I got a call. Hi, I'm so-and-so with so-and-so vending company. We'd like to introduce you a vendor role at Microsoft. What? Little old me work at Microsoft? There's no way. At the time, I was a little naive. Recruiters were just scraping whatever sites they could to find whatever people they could to assign over to Microsoft. I thought they were really recruiting me. But there I went. I went over to Microsoft. I thought, here I am. Now I'm a real IT pro. I'm in Microsoft IT. 45 days after I started in Microsoft as a vendor, there was a job posting for our team on the external career site for the exact role I was doing. So I applied. And I actually became a blue badge at Microsoft. It was my dream come true. Oh my gosh, I'm working for Microsoft in IT. I felt like it, not only was I in the mission control, I'm in a modern mission control. It's Microsoft. This is the best place to work. One of the other things that I thought is, hey, we must be a really good IT organization. We can hand off very well between software engineers and IT operations. Just like every other company in the world, guess what? They just throw stuff over the wall. This is in the about 2005 time frame, 2005 to 2008. IT operations was a role that was part of the Microsoft IT world, but we were subjugated to the teams that were doing the development. And so many teams would develop and then throw, and then we had to figure out how to run it. Does this sound familiar to many of you? Of course it does. And then those teams would just sit and watch you while you tried to fix it, looking at you from over that wall that they just threw the code over, high-fiving themselves because they made their deadlines. Every time it felt like I was getting ready for a release, this is what I had to do. Got to put on that bomb suit. Ironically, at the time, my girlfriend worked for ATF. I actually asked her bomb techs to come over one time in their bomb gear during a release cycle just to have some fun with the devs. Wanted them to come over, they didn't, but that was not appropriate. So the way IT operations to me was always this just mishmash of whatever you could get done. We'll clean it up later, don't worry, we'll find time. Submit bugs, we'll fix them later, we'll find time. Over time, it started grating on me a bit. I was also taking a look at what else could be out there for me. I became director of IT of a radiology practice. It was awesome. It was my show to run. The only person I had to really be accountable to was a CIO. I thought, here it is. I can go in, I can do technology, I can do whatever I want, I can set up the processes I want. Guess what? It's a lot of the same. Those of you in healthcare understand you can't change the software very quickly. You can't do things without having the proper approvals, having proper security. And it really brought me down a little bit, again. So we tried to do what we could, where we could. Because we're radiology, the PACS system, for those of you who don't know what PACS stand for, it's the Picture, Archive, and Communication System. It's what holds all the scans, either X-ray, CT, or MRI, after they're done, and allows the doctors to read it. That software has to be FDA approved. We can't play with that software at all. What our company did was play with the workflow software around it to get all those images, get all the paperwork. And we actually were very much a DevOps shop, now that I take a look back at it. We were doing releases on fairly quick cycles at the time. Every couple of weeks, we'd have a new release for doctors and we had ABC testing. We had a small group test it, give a lot of feedback, take it to a larger group, and then we would release it to the full doctor load. We were very good at what we did. We had to be. In radiology, most people think of radiology as a very hands-on thing for a doctor. It is very much assembly line. Get all the paperwork, get all the images together, put it in front of the doctor, let him read it, move on, send the report, go to the next piece. Especially with the way insurance companies are in reimbursement, it was a very workflow intensive. And IT was very important for them to make sure they could get all that done. But most of my time, I was doing paperwork, compliance, HR, finance. A lot of the things that the CIO didn't want to do, he dumped in my lap. He was the lead architect of our system. He was great. He was brilliant. And I was the person that had to make sure all the paperwork was done right and all the I's dotted and T's crossed. Well, after a while, I decided I didn't want to be in management anymore. I wanted to go back to being a technology person, because the only time I did technology when I was at the radiology practice was at night on my own with my own Hyper-V rig at home, installing Exchange, SharePoint, SQL Server, you name it. I had an MSDN subscription. I was playing with all the technology so I could keep up, because I didn't do that as a part of my day job. So, what did I learn in IT operations? Well, I learned I didn't want it. We were always at odds with software engineering. Releases were horrible. And all we ever got in releases was features for the business, nothing ever for operations. The one time when I was at Microsoft, we actually stopped all feature work for one quarter for deployment for IT operations items. They ended up releasing 3 more features. Process was more important than technology at the time. It's something I learned, especially as director of IT. A good process can beat technology anytime. ITIL is a great starting point, and it also helps with compliance. Because if you don't have good process, compliance and auditors are going to kick your butt. But at least if you have good process, you can beat some of the technology things that they have. Last but not least, this is not the best way to manage IT. My teams had a lot of work-life balance issues. They always felt like they were working. The teams themselves felt like they were in conflict with each other, and business was rarely happy with IT. I can tell you, going into operations meetings at the radiology practice, doctors were always telling me, you know what, we could just replace IT with a whole bunch of Macs. You guys don't need to be here. We can do this on our own with Macs. My response was always a giggle, and it's like, good luck with that. But that was their thought process. They didn't understand what IT brought to the table. So I started looking around for a new job, told a friend of mine that I was possibly looking for a new role. And I think it says something that my old manager from Microsoft called me and said, Jared, can we have lunch? I was like, sure, Ryan. So I started back on a new journey from IT operations to service engineering. Microsoft IT had switched over from having IT operations people to having an operations aspect, but also what they called service engineering. And service engineering was focused on improving the services. It's one of the baby steps into Agile for operations. So I became an engineer. Wait, not this kind of engineer, hold on. I became this kind of engineer. I was working at the time on SharePoint on-prem custom portals, the big portals at Microsoft, HR Web, MS Web, LCA Web, the big ones that everybody in the company goes to. What my job was to figure out how to best build the service so that we could offer the best platform for Microsoft to utilize for our intranet. It was a rough job. MS Web was probably one of the biggest farms I've ever worked with in my life up to that time. We had 8 web front ends, 4 application servers, 4 SQL servers on the back end, and we didn't even run search ourselves. That was a whole separate farm. All we were was content. It was all running on-prem in servers. My lovely servers. I was in love again. I had servers again. I could just hug them and squeeze them. I did call a couple George. But I was there to try and improve the service. And I didn't understand what that meant until I started reading and started learning. And what it meant was users weren't happy. The service wasn't good. They would go to the web page and it would take 10 seconds to load. But my servers are up. 99.9%. That was the maximum we could achieve because that was the network availability, 99.9%. We were 99.9% available. What's wrong? Why are users unhappy? Because we didn't actually look at the business and what they needed. We needed to make the customer experience the best experience it could be. We had to learn how to measure customer experience instead of just hardware uptime or operating system uptime or application uptime. Even if the application is up, doesn't mean users are happy with it. So we started changing how we monitored. We started using, actually, at the time in System Center, Operations Manager, you could put web tests from Visual Studio in as your monitoring agent. So we actually built a whole bunch of web tests to test our farms to see if they were operating as efficiently as they could. And that became our monitoring on top of the availability. How fast was the web page working in every region? And we had a threshold for every region. And if it didn't meet that, we had to investigate. Improved service, happier business people, happier customers, happier users. Complete mind change. On top of that, at the same time, in my organization that I was a part of, we had our expense system. It's called MS Expense. Servers always up, 99.9%. They had some great graphs showing their availability, all sorts of stuff. We have a monthly meeting with Satya. And it was back in, I believe it was 2016 or 2017. In that monthly meeting, Satya called out the expense as one of the worst applications in the company. And the response from the folks on the team was, but we're up 99.9% of the time. Then they started changing the mindset, looking at it from the customer perspective, looking at it from users. They started just doing some synthetic transactions just to see where they were. They found every bottleneck. They saw how horrible the system was, and they were like, oh my goodness, we got to fix this. So they started fixing things. Rapid deployment, rapid cycle. And it started improving, especially for our field people, because our field people are always filling out expense reports. And they were starting to have lower NSAT. They were starting to get more satisfied. Then the business team and the IT team sat there and said, well, if we do synthetic transactions, why don't we watch real transactions? Hey, so they started sampling real transactions to see what it was. And it even helped better because they actually had people off in Kalamazoo, Michigan, doing expense reports. And they could see exactly how long it took for every step. Well, if we're going to monitor, random ones, why don't we monitor them all? Even better. So they started monitoring every transaction. Then they started having alerts based on all that monitoring, and they would actually contact people when they had a problem. Caused some people to get kind of scared because they're like, I've heard of one case where they contacted a person because one step took like 10 minutes, and they're like, you're broken, we need to help you, what's wrong? And he goes, I was trying to find my receipts. So they had to adjust some of their alerts and monitoring, take into account. But they also asked him, so what would have helped you? And he said, well, like a mobile app that I could take pictures of receipts. We now have a mobile app. They can take picture of receipts when you're in the field, and then you can import them straight into the expense system. Customers are getting happier. Is the service perfect? Nowhere near perfect. But guess what? It's a lot better than it used to be. They now have been implementing not just IT monitoring, but business monitoring. How long does it take from Amex, because that's our card company, to get all the transactions into the system? How long does it take to get approvals? How long does after the approval does it take to pay the card off? Can we knock down in the late fees that we pay because people aren't filling out reports fast enough or managers aren't approving fast enough? So where did we take this after that? It's a big question. As service engineers, we were trying to figure out how best to try and improve our lives, trying to deliver the service. And one of the biggest steps for us was the cloud. Not just public cloud, not just Azure, but also private cloud. Because cloud means you're able to automate. You're able to change the system quickly and easily, be that on-prem or up in something like Azure in the public cloud. Automation was going to be the next key step for us. How can we automate our builds? How can we make it easier to deploy? So we started taking a look at the cloud. Now, a lot of folks, once you start moving to the cloud, it feels like you're going 500 miles an hour. Everything is changing on you. And a lot of people say, the only thing I can focus on is the stuff behind me. Can you? Did anybody catch the unicorn? Because you don't stay focused behind you. You do stay focused ahead of you. So the cloud is moving and accelerating at an incredible place, at an incredible speed. We feel like we need to be able to focus behind us, but what you need to do is start focusing in front of you. Bring those things into focus. One of the first things I had to learn was my servers are no longer my pets. My servers are heard. I need to be able to call them when they're not doing well. I can't spend time nursing them to health. One of my role changes within Microsoft IT when we got a lot of our SharePoint sites onto Office 365 was I became what we call the cloud lead. My role was to help my teams get onto the cloud. I helped the BizTalk team, and they were having a rough time. And at Microsoft, we have a lot of BizTalk because we interconnect a lot of things into SAP, and all that goes through BizTalk. And they had 23 what they call pods, 23 BizTalk farms. They had to deploy all these servers by hand, install BizTalk, install SQL. They had worked to get a lot of it automated, though. And with that automation, they could build out a farm pretty quick in about 2 days once they had the hardware. But hardware at Microsoft meant, especially in Microsoft IT, if you wanted physical hardware, 9 months if you got it approved. And getting approval was difficult. For virtual machines, it still took about 60 days. Why? Because we had to make sure we had enough room on all of our Hyper-V farms and clusters. That's why when I came in as cloud lead, I would come in and say, hey, you want 60 days or you want 30 minutes? Because I can get you servers in 30 minutes. At first, they thought I was selling them pizza. Try. But once I showed them that they could build a server, they were like, holy cow, this is amazing. Then MSIT got a little bit smarter, and I have a gentleman in the audience here who helped make our ARM templates. There he is, Todd. We could get it done in 30 minutes. Not only was it a built server, it was connected to our domain, had all the drives attached, and was ready to go for deployment in 30 minutes. You know, I was offering just the pepperoni pizza. He got the whole Supreme in 30 minutes. Pretty amazing. Then they started building out their scripts to install BizTalk, to install SQL Server. They had that automated. The next step was they figured out how to automate, how to deploy the BizTalk settings and configurations. In the end, they now have a pipeline in Azure DevOps that can deploy any of their BizTalk clusters in under 4 hours. They can redeploy in under 4 hours. In Microsoft IT, if you are have a service level for a critical system like that, and you have a Sev 0 or Sev 1 outage, Expected recovery time is, guess what? 4 hours. Their first step is to start that CI/CD build pipeline. Create a new cluster. Then they can troubleshoot the one that they have. When the cluster comes up, they can validate that it's a good new cluster, change Azure front door, and away they go, and then they can look at that bad cluster whenever they have time. And if they don't want to even look at the bad cluster, they just throw it away. Different mindset. We would have never done that without the cloud. So, my journey was going to be taking a path to the cloud. I knew that. But it wasn't going to be one that I could just drive on. I had to actually accelerate it. So I had to go out and take off. So I had to go learn a lot. And dynamic environments were one of the first areas for me. How many people here have some sort of farm that they have to, like an intranet, be it SharePoint or some other technology, where if HR puts out an email, the system goes down just because so many people are hitting it? Oh, not too many, that's good. How many of you have super huge farms to take care of that so you never have to think about it? Ah, there's a couple there, all right. For us, our HR farm, we couldn't justify spending the amount of money to keep the farm available like that for every user. But we moved it onto Hyper-V on-prem, and we had access to be able to run PowerShell scripts against that farm. When we heard from HR that they were going to be putting out some sort of announcement, we had a PowerShell script which would shut down each node of the web cluster, double or triple its size, and put it back in the cluster so that we could handle the load. In years past, we had to have everybody on the team sit on a server and reset the app pool because we had a memory leak in one of our pages. We didn't know how to troubleshoot it. So the cloud changed things for us. And once you get in the cloud, once you start something, then things all of a sudden look different. Being able to do dynamic compute on any sort of virtualization platform, be it public cloud or private cloud, is critical for IT operations as you move forward. Being able to dynamically deploy, being able to change regions if you need to, being able to have multi-region because you know your customers are located all over the world. It's critical. And the great thing about it is once you're in the cloud, even a little bump, you can still work around it and past it. So, what did I learn in service engineering? Well, first thing, focus shifted for better services for users. We focused on the user experience. And changing that mindset changes a lot. Changes how you monitor things. Changes how you engage with your users. Software needs to provide both features and performance improvements, and the shorter release cycles allowed us to put out smaller feature sets. We went from quarterly releases in Microsoft IT to monthly releases. That was big for us. Now, we still have some systems that are quarterly release. Why? Because it's tied to SAP, and SAP only releases quarterly right now because of the kind of changes and all the compliance they have to do as a part of a change. IT teams are working to build better services. We no longer are fighting each other. We understand both from the software side and the service engineering side, we have to work together to provide better services. Infrastructure design is typically now part of the design of the project, not just something that you slap together at the end. And now we actually have software engineers carrying pagers. Trust me, those bugs that occur at 3 in the morning get fixed really quick when a software developer gets paged at 3 in the morning. They don't linger for years. And the last thing we learned was cloud design is a way to increase velocity. And I say again, it can be for on-prem or public cloud. But getting to a cloud design model where you have automation, where you have reusability, where everything is software defined, that's going to be critical moving forward, both for IT pros on-prem and in the cloud. So, another change. We get an announcement in Microsoft. I moved over to formerly the Visual Studio Team Services team, now Azure DevOps. I was a service delivery engineer. And we get an email in February saying, guess what? You're now a site reliability engineer. And we were all kind of going, huh? So we started looking into what the site reliability engineering was. And for many teams at Microsoft, they still don't understand it. What we found out in the Azure DevOps organization is we were site reliability engineers. We have been. We just had a different name for it. We were doing a lot of the things that companies like Google and LinkedIn and Facebook and Etsy have been doing for years. So we started taking a look at the role, and we saw a lot more differences from what Microsoft coined as service engineering to what is SRE. And those differences are pretty key in my mind. So first and foremost, we had to think and look differently. When we talked about the cloud, for us, it was always trying to talk about infrastructure. Well, the cloud is services, and it's the site that you run on those services. That's the critical thing. My team doesn't run websites, though. We run something called Cloud Build that every engineering company or every engineering team in Microsoft uses to build their code. Most of them do. So we had to figure out what that meant for us, because we didn't have a website per se, but we offered a platform service, and that's what the site, in site reliability is. It's a platform service. So what platform did we offer? Well, we had to go through and start thinking about that and start taking a look at, hey, how does that relate into the realm of site reliability engineering? And what we found is a lot of what we did was very similar to what site reliability engineers do. We automate. We have deployment systems we have to manage, and we deliver code in and out. We deliver all of our configurations for our environment by code. It's configuration files that we manage through source control just like a developer does. And then we deploy that code into our fleet, and then the fleet does whatever it's supposed to do. Be it in Azure, be it on-prem. We have a on-prem control plane that we can manage all of our physical servers with. And we can deploy brand new code, brand new OSs with just a change in configuration and a pull request. It also means smaller guardrails. I can remember in my IT operations days, we weren't allowed to touch code. If we wanted a change in the application code, we had to submit a bug. Even though I knew exactly what line needed to be changed, I had to submit a bug, have the software developers make the change, the testers had to go through their testing cycle, and then it had to go into a release cycle. That sometimes took months to get done. Today, I can actually go into our app code and I can make a change. Hey, we got a memory leak and it's right here, and here's what we need to do to change it. First time I talked with one of our software engineers, their response was like, well, go change it. What? You're going to let me into the code? And they're like, yeah. Really? I can do this? Yes, just submit a pull request when you're done. Oh, okay. Went into the code, submitted my pull request. Ha-ha, bug fixed. I didn't have to wait forever. Mark another work item off the board, done. SREs are allowed to go into the code. They're allowed to make the tools that the developers use. That was unheard of in IT operations. We had to beg and plead for them to use standardized tools. Today, I can go in and change the code to make sure it works with our monitoring system. Oh, we have a piece of code that is causing us grief when we have outages. I can actually add a monitoring hook so it can drop more information into log analytics, and I can query for that now. I am enabled to do that. It also means I could step in that geyser and hurt myself. I've done that twice now. I've changed passwords. I've changed the wrong password on the service account. I caused outages. Sev1 outages. Goes right up to the top of the list. Yes! That's how you get noticed at Microsoft. Create outages. But I've learned from those situations. One of the biggest things I learned is we actually went through and we're figuring out on one of the service accounts, why do we need it anymore? Good question. There's an easy way for us to get rid of it. We're getting rid of the service account. We don't need it anymore. One less thing to change in the system. The other side of the coin, my team specifically, is writing a whole bunch of code on how to automate, how to change our service accounts, how to change our certificates, so that we can do it with a pull request. Change in the environment again. And this is where I'd go into the create and modify code. Part of it is we are developers in many senses. How many people work on scripting? Bash, PowerShell, Python? Congratulations, you're developers. You may not think you are, but you are. You're developing scripts. How many of you put that scripts into source control? Those of you who did not raise your hand, bad. Bad on you. You want to be able to utilize source control just like the developers do. Why? Because then you can actually say, I ran version 12.4 of the script and it errored. Why? Then someone else might say, because there's a 12.5. We fixed the error. Sometimes it might be just to be able to satisfy an auditor. An auditor might say, well, what scripts do you run in your environment? Here's all the scripts. Here's my repo. Here's all the check-ins. Here's all the code. I highly encourage every one of you that doesn't have a repo to build a repo on GitHub, on Azure DevOps repos, on whatever repoing service you want to utilize. Manage your code. If you don't manage your code, those questions become a lot tougher to answer. Now, how many of you are working on Azure today? How many of you, keep your hands up. How many of you are using Azure Shell? Shell.azure.com. Nice. Those of you who aren't, take a look at it. It gives you a great way to manage your Azure capabilities through command line. And oh, guess what? You can tie any Git-based repo to your Azure Cloud Shell and have all your scripts available to you. You can also get to the Azure Cloud Shell from the mobile app. Kind of plug in some things there. Promotional. But it's all about creating and modifying your code. Your code is your scripting. How many people here use configuration files to control your environments, either through Azure or some other system? How many people are going to go home and try and learn if they can do it? All right, that's what I like to see. Go take a look, figure it out. Because the things like DSC, desired state configuration with PowerShell on-prem, there's a lot of third-party products that can help create software-defined networks, software-defined systems in your on-prem environment. You don't have to always go to the public cloud to get a cloud. Build your own in the short term. Then once you build your own, you can actually easily deploy between the two. Then you can actually provide to your boss and management and say, hey, because we have all this automation, we can actually deploy this anywhere, not just on-prem. Let's try the cloud. One of the biggest areas that was toughest for me to learn when I came into service engineering, but also as we stepped more into the site reliability engineering, is utilizing data more and more in how you review your environments. And the reason why it was tough for me is because we used to have all this data in Microsoft IT, but we never knew how to report on it. We never knew how to query it. We had so much data and we couldn't do with it what we should have. Why? We didn't have a good way to manage it. So you got to figure out ways to utilize your data in the decisions. Got to have a good system. We're lucky internally, we've got a couple systems. One of those have been turned into a product, the log analytics system in Azure, where you can dump all sorts of information and then query it with the Kusto query language, KQL. I can tell you right here and right now, almost every site reliability team inside Microsoft relies on that system. We make every decision based on that. I can't go to my boss anymore and say, boss, I think the servers are going to tip over. I have to go to him with, here's the graphs, here's showing we're right here, and this is the tip over point, and it's coming up in about 30 minutes. We need to do something about that. Used to be in the IT operations day, we got away with a lot being able to say, I have a gut feeling this is not going to work. Now we have data to back that up. We also need to improve the site performance. Like I talked about with the SharePoint and with BizTalk, we had to figure out how to run code better. And some of that is just us figuring out not only the infrastructure, but let's go into the code. Let's actually sit down with those developers. Let's help them. Let's try and figure out why their code is so slow. Is it because we need more performance? A lot of times, throwing more horsepower at a performance issue is not going to fix it. So you got to work with them to figure out what's the problem. And that's where having all the data can help you. You can actually walk through. You can see, oh, hey, our system is so slow because we keep timing out on this request, and that timeout's 300 seconds every time. We need to fix that timeout. Or we need to fail out of that request faster than 300 seconds. I got the opportunity to sit in with the LinkedIn SREs at their internal conference and learn a lot about their systems. And I found out, you go to the homepage at LinkedIn, and it's like 200 or 250 microservices that builds that homepage in less than a second. And I'm sitting there going, we can't build stuff in like 5 seconds with like 10 services. So we are going to be learning a lot on how to run microservices from other folks like them. And they talk about their site performance all the time. That's a big goal for them, because if you're a user on LinkedIn, how many of you are going to stick around if the front page takes 5 seconds to load? Probably not a lot of you. I wouldn't. And last but not least, some people might call this a little cheesy, but I'm going to say it this way. SRE is a team sport. I am an infrastructure person. I come from an infrastructure background. Yet I'm a part of a team that includes a whole bunch of specialties. This is actually a picture of my team from Redmond. And on this team, there's three of us that are infrastructure specialists. But we also have a couple of developers, really good developers that used to develop, and in fact, one of them helped develop the system we run. And he's a part of now the SRE team. He's understanding the infrastructure, but he's got a real knack for all the development side of things. We even have folks that have used to run test systems. So our cloud test system, we have a gentleman that has been running test systems for years. And so he has a good understanding of what the test cases should do and what they should look like. But we all work together. And not only in Redmond. We have 3 great teams around the world: Redmond, Dublin, and Hyderabad, India. And we're a 24/7 team, and we're constantly handing off. Hey, I'm working, especially if you're the on-call person, hey, this is the active incident. I get to go home because of that. And because we've standardized our workflow and we've gotten very good people to work together, I can hand off an incident at 7 p.m. Pacific time to India, and I can go home feeling comfortable that they are going to fix the problem in the next couple hours, even if we've been working on it for 4 hours throughout the day. SRE is not just one person, it's a team of people. And when people might think, oh, I want to be an SRE, but I don't have a dev background, that's fine. Work on it. That's your learning area. I'm actually doing night courses for development again. Remember, I started as a web dev? I'm going back and figuring out how to be a developer again. Why? I want to contribute code. I want to fix the system. I don't want to just sit back and say, hey, can somebody that dev fix this, please? I want to be able to jump in and do it myself. So, what am I learning in site reliability engineering? Well, code is used for everything, and I need to learn it. Like I said, I'm going back to school. Yeah, infrastructure as code. I'm totally down with JSON now. Our internal management platform, I know folks might giggle, we still use ini files to manage the platform because it's that old. But guess what? It works, and it manages our platform perfectly. We also have XML. I know XML. Been in XML for years. But code is a part of everything, and that's why when you hear people say, well, everyone is a developer, including the operations folks, that's what they're talking about. It's scripting. It's your configuration files. Those things should be managed through a repository in source control. And you should feel comfortable as an SRE jumping into code and getting something if you need to make an improvement for performance or monitoring. Deployments need to be automated and reliable. I can't stress this enough. Now here's the best part. If you do deployments and you do full automation, like building the whole environment, build your servers, let me ask you guys something. Which is easier to do in a month? If you have an automated deployment system, that's going to be the caveat. Everything's fully automated. Is it easier to patch a server, or is it easier to redeploy the server with an updated OS image? Anyone? Redeploy. That's right. It's easier to redeploy. Guess what? I just got you out of patching. And you know the Windows rot that people talk about? If you're redeploying every month, you don't have to deal with that anymore. So automation is going to be critical for you around the deployment. And it has to be reliable. You have to be able to say, I can push the button to deploy, and it should just work. That's going to be a critical part, and that's part of what the SREs work with, the devs with. Last but not least, understand and report using your data. Get your data into some sort of system, be it something like log analytics or some sort of large warehouse, and know how to mine that data for the information you need. It's going to be critical moving forward. If you can provide decision makers, hey, we don't have enough cores in our on-prem environment, here's the reason why, and show them the core usage over time, you're going to get decision makers making the decision you want instead of saying no. Provide the data. It's critical. I can tell you that as a fact working at Microsoft. If we take no data into our management, they won't buy us new hardware. They won't give us more cores in Azure. They won't do anything. But if we provide the data, it's no question we can move forward. And last but not least, build a really good team with overlapping skills. Find some people that you can work with as a team together. Now, sometimes in some companies, the SREs are embedded with the development teams. In some companies, the SREs are their own teams. Which is the better way? It depends. I always love using Wes Miller's answer there. It depends. What works best for you? There's no, well, technically there is a book that says how to do SRE, but it's the Google way to do SRE and how they did it. I highly encourage you guys to go take a look at that book. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit more about how I enabled the change and growth in myself, moving from IT operations to engineering. First thing I did was learn. I am a sponge when it comes to learning. I try and learn whatever I can. I'm the person that has 14 podcasts all week I'm always catching up on, listening to what's coming out, what's new, what's the news. Well, the big thing is go to conferences. Oh, wait a minute, you're here already. Woohoo! But there are also SRE. If you are very interested in the SRE role, there's SRECon. I'll put in a slight plug because David is one of the people that's helped start it right here. There's a whole conference for SREs to go and talk to each other. Say, here's the problem that I'm having at my company. How did you learn how to do it? Or, hey, here's what we figured out at our company. Come learn how to do it. Obviously, there are 4 sessions that were here this year. This is the last one, so I can't really plug the others, except to go watch them online. There's a lot to learn. David talked about site reliability as an introduction yesterday, or on Tuesday. It was a great introduction. I highly encourage you to go back. He's got some great definitions, and there are copies, or the covers of the 3 good books. One is the Google SRE book. Then they did a follow-up. What was it? The SRE workbook. And then David has written a book recently based on all of his interactions with SREs at conferences. So I highly encourage you, go take a look at those. Get them either ebook or physical book. You don't have an Audible yet, do you, David? You should go record that. Anyways, I'm going to leave that there for David to go record. But one of the biggest books that got me thinking differently was a little book called The Phoenix Project by Gene Kim, Kevin Baird, George Spafford. It's available on paperback, ebook, Kindle, audiobook, Audible, lots of different formats. I have listened to this book on Audible at least 5 times. How many of you have read the book? Good. How many of you know your Brents? How many of you are Brent? Read the book, you'll understand. It really taught me a lot of things about IT. And the great thing is, it's a story, kind of like I've been doing today. Instead of being classroom, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. It tells a story. It tells a story of how people in scenarios that most of you, you'll even listen, if you listen to the audiobook, they have an afterword, and the authors say how people said, hey, you were looking in on my company. How did you see this? It sounds very much like every company out there. The other part about learning, though, is online. Things like Microsoft Virtual Academy or the new Learn system that was put out by the Docs team. You can go in there and you can learn a lot about Microsoft Stack technologies, Azure, Office 365, on-prem. All sorts of things you can learn there. And on top of that, you can actually dig into specific areas and get not only documentation on how to do it, but also good examples. I'm a little partial to the Docs team, just because I have a good friend that works for him that's sitting in the room, John. Go up and thank him. He's written a lot of documentation on Azure AD and 2-factor authentication, self-service password reset. And all that is great documentation. Why? He's a former IT pro. He's not a writer. He's one of us, writing how to use the technology. And that's where the doc team has really changed their view, starting to write the documentation better that way. Huh? I know I left the localization in the link. Copy-paste sucks sometimes. Thank you, John. The next thing I would say is try it out. How many of you have access to like MSDN accounts? How many of you use those MSDN accounts to try things? Excellent. Thank you for doing that. If you don't have an MSDN account, you can still try things in Azure for free. There's an offer up there. This is, of course, the localized English US version. I'm sure if you remove the localization and just said free, it would go to your personal localization. But guess what? You can actually try out Azure. We'll give you credits for, I can't remember what the current credit amount is, but if you go to this link, 200? 200? Thank you very much, sir. It's $200 of credits. The other side of the coin is if you're trying to learn for your company, go to your company and say, can you pay for an Azure account for me to test things in? I would also encourage you to go take a look at Azure DevOps. We have a lot of services available. We just renamed the service But it's not just a rename. We actually separated out. Visual Studio Team Services was a big bundle together. And now you can get individual items. Let's say you already have work item management and repos, but you need pipelines. Guess what? You can just get Azure Pipelines, and away you go. Now you can deploy from your repos. Let's say you have your own build system, your own repo system, but you want an artifact system that people can go to and download your SDKs. You can use Azure Artifacts service to help you out. If anything, if you don't have a way to manage your work and you're in a small team, start out with one of the free Azure Boards account and just start there, being able to put a Kanban up of how you're going to be laying out your work. Just that alone can help speed up things, knowing what you're working on. And the other thing I would ask you to try out is the Azure Log Analytics system. Give it a shot. I'm going to tell you, it's the world for us. We can dump a whole bunch of information from on-prem and cloud into this service. And we can query it. I can query about 300,000 rows in about 10 seconds. Can't do that with SQL Server. Last but not least, be an agent for change in your organization. Don't be the person that say, we can't do this. Be the person that says, I want to do this. Let's push this forward. Let's do what we can. Be the person that people look to implement the change. Be the leader of the pack. Learn the new technologies. Tell your coworkers, hey, this is how we can manage it and we can make it better. So, what are your calls to action? Like I said, learn. Attend conferences, user groups, read books. And for those of you who don't like to read books, try audiobooks. I look at screens all day long. I don't want to look at a book or another screen when I get home. But I'll listen to an audiobook. I'll just lay there on the couch listening to an audiobook. Try it out. Set up some environments. Either inside your own org, set up a sandbox to play with, or try some of the free services that are available. Last but not least, be an agent for change. Like I said, if you're out in front, help others along. If there's already somebody out in front, great. Help that person and pull people along with you. And communicate with everyone, both about the pros and the cons. Be upfront, be transparent. I love my role as an SRE, yet if you know me, and John does very well, when I'm on call, I hate my job. But I think everybody who's on call hates their job when they're on call. Why? It's just a rough week for me, rough 2 weeks. Then I get out of those 2 weeks and I go, man, I love my job. So, where am I going to go now? Where's my next journey? I don't know, but the road is ongoing. I may be at a mountain pass right now, but I can see that road is continuing on to someplace else. I like where I'm at with SRE, but I'm not going to stay here the whole time. I got someplace to go. Don't know where that's yet, but I'll get there. I appreciate your time today. If you want to get a hold of me or engage with me, I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. Feel free to reach out, ask questions. I also speak at several other engagements, so if you find me, grab me. I love to sit down and chat. Can't tell, my voice is a little hoarse. I've been talking a lot this week. And I love talking with our customers because guess what? I was in your place when I was director of IT, but I also understand where you're going and where you're trying to get things done. So with that, if anybody has any questions, we have about 10 minutes. Step up to a mic. I'll also check the online because I know there's a lot of people watching this online, I found out. Any questions? Anything at all? Don't do drugs. Thank you very much for coming today. Have a good Ignite.